to the cloud. Got it.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll just give folks a couple minutes to log in. Thank you again for being with us.
Buenas noches, gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Vamos a dar oportunidad a que más participantes se unan a la llamada. Agradecemos su paciencia.
Good evening and welcome to Senator John Brooks, Senate District 8 Black History Month celebration. We'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining us this evening.
Buenas noches y bienvenidos al Distrito 8 del senador John E. Brooks. Estamos celebrando esta tarde el mes de historia afroamericana.
Thank you. At this time, we would like to let you know that we're offering live translations during this event. Shortly, we'll activate the Zoom interpretation feature and you'll see a button pop up on your screen. If you would like to hear this event in Spanish, click on the interpretation button and choose Spanish. If you would like to hear this event in English, you do not have to click any of the options. Buenas noches, esta noche estamos ofreciendo traducciones para este evento. En breve activaremos la función de interpretación de Zoom y verá un botón emergente en su pantalla. Si desea escuchar este evento en español, haga clic en el botón interpretación y elija español. Si quiere escuchar este evento en inglés, no es necesario hacer clic en ninguna de las opciones. Gracias. Mason, are we good to go?
Should be good.
Okay, awesome. Just briefly before we get started, we just want to let you know of some of the options that you see on your end. You'll see a chat button. There we welcome you to participate and celebrate with us as we go through our program. Additionally, you do see a raise your hand function where you can click if you have any difficulty with audios or your video, and we'll get to you as soon as possible. There is also a Q&A option, but as we are celebrating this evening, we don't expect any questions, but we just ask you that you sit back and enjoy the program. Thank you. This evening, we are very excited and honored to be celebrating a few nominees from our community that have been submitted. And we also have our great case speaker with us this evening as well, which is Miles Hollingsworth. He's the president of the NAACP Freeport Roosevelt Youth Program. We also have with us Village of Freeport Officer Danetta Cumberbatch and Officer Bobby Ford. We have also with us Carol P. Gilliam and Lisa M. Owens, Albert Belcher, and Jock Butler. Thank you so much and welcome this evening. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Senator John Brooks for some opening remarks. Senator Brooks.
Thank you, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's event. This month of February, across our nation, we honor and remember the contributions that Black Americans have made to our nation. I hope tonight is an opportunity for some of you to learn, to recognize the contributions that were made, to honor the contributions that Black Americans have brought to our nation in our long history, and to remember how our nation is one made up of people from many, many countries, many backgrounds, all of us together in this great melting pot that makes one of the greatest countries in the world. So we hope you'll enjoy tonight's program. Thank you for joining us, and on with the show.
Thank you, Senator Brooks. Senator Brooks couldn't have said it better. This evening, this month actually marks a great opportunity to not only celebrate but acknowledge the great triumphs and legacy from African Americans. It's also time to also acknowledge the suffrage, and we take a moment, this month to do so. As we indicated a lot, many are taking the time to do so, and we have with us this evening a clip from the Freeport Public School District. We'd like to thank the administrators and also all the students involved in putting together this program, and we hope you enjoy this short clip from their celebration.
My name is Chloe Pereira
from New Visions. I will be reciting a poem called Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head, lowered eyes, shoulders falling like teardrops, weak in my soulful ties? You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, I'll rise. Out of the huts of history shade, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear the tide. Leaving behind nights in terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
Great. Thank you so much, Freeport Public Schools, again, for your awesome celebration and for sharing that with us. I'm sure we are all clapping at our seats at home. Now, I would like to welcome our key speaker, Miles Hollingsworth. Just to share a little bit about Miles, he was born on Long Island, New York. He's a social activist, organizer, and community leader. Since 2018, Miles has served his community proudly, fighting for social, economic, educational, and political justice on behalf of the youth in the community. Miles uses his platforms to reach vulnerable communities and directly engage them with to combat the injustices they face via policy advocacy and social networking. The work in and around legislation that Miles has done has earned him some seats working with prominent world leaders, community leaders, and stakeholders, including President Biden, Governor Hochul, Secretary of State Rodriguez, former County Executive Curran, and many more leaders. He's been featured as the Village of Freeport Black History Month honoree, fellow at the Gathering for Justice organization, and Youth Over Guns, a keynote panelist with the Women's Diversity Network and Minority Millennials Incorporation, and many more. Miles has the honor of leading youth across New York State as the recently elected president of the NAACP, New York State Youth and College Division. Welcome, Miles, and congratulations again for being our key speaker this evening. I would like to turn it over to you for some opening remarks.
Thank you, Melody, for that very warm welcome. And like the senator said previously, we're in a moment in which we want to recognize the contributions of Black Americans, as always, throughout 365 days a year, but particularly these 28 days in this month, because of how significant the contributions have been. And I'd like to take another moment to uplift the words of the young lady from New Visions, my alma mater, the great school in Freeport Public School District, in her poem where she stated, "I rise." And that poem, it resonated with me so much because I think that's the entire moment of what we're all going through as in a society right now. We're rising. We're coming out of a pandemic, and some of us are still feeling the effects of it today. Many are still sick, many are still contracting the virus. Nonetheless, we are rising. She is rising, and I think it's pivotal that we recognize the leadership of not only that young girl, but the school district, the young folks who are like her, who are sharing their comments, who are sharing their words, and see what we can do to help them rise. And I think that's, a great point to start us off with. And I'm honored and deeply hold deep respect for the office here for allowing me to share some words today. We are all going through an unprecedented period of time where chaos seems endless and the tumultuous environment is truly unparalleled. To try and convey the Black experience is nearly impossible. It's a combination of cultures, experiences, fears, hopes, and tragedies that make us who we are. Like systemic racism, appropriation of Black culture is so ubiquitous and normalized that most people can actively engage in it and never, not once in the course of their lives, be forced to confront that fact. The most appropriated culture is protected and defended not only by the activists and allies, but also by the use of one word: no. No, you cannot touch my hair. No, you cannot wear dashiki. No, I will not tell you what tribe I'm from. And no, I will not make gumbo, fried chicken, or stewed greens for you. And no, you cannot say the N-word. A common follow-up question to those statements is, why are you people so angry? In 2009, Oscar Grant was shot at a BART station platform. His last words were, "You shot me. I got a 4-year-old daughter." In 2011, an innocent man named Troy Davis was put to death in Georgia, wronged by the systemically racist justice system. In 2012, Jordan Davis was executed in Jacksonville, Florida, for being guilty of playing his music too loud in a gas station. His killer immediately afterward went home and ate pizza with his girlfriend. That same year, Cece McDonald was jailed for defending herself against a racist and transphobic attacker. In 2013, George Zimmerman was acquitted of the murder of Trayvon Martin. 2013 was also the year that 19-year-old Renisha McBride was shot when she went onto the porch of a man that she didn't know after she had gotten into a car accident, asking for help. She was shot in the eye through a locked security door. 12-year-old Tamir Rice was shot and killed by police officers in Cleveland while playing alone in a park. As you can see, we have a lot to be angry about. The translation of old history into new history is radical in and of itself, and is exactly what the innovative and trailblazing youth today are doing. We have recognized what once was, we're acknowledging what is, and we're leading what we want society to become. The paths we're taking towards betterment of our community are not new. However, they've been laid before by leaders we still learn from today, like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Angela Davis, Dr. Bernard Lafayette, and so many more. Along these same paths, we have found counsel and guidance from institutions, organizations, and individuals that are committed to the liberation of Black people, like the NAACP and National Action Network. My time in the NAACP has given me much, but it has taught me even more. Taught me not only the structure in which we advocate, but also the life ingenuity that is needed to champion a community and truly be a leader. And being a leader, being someone who helps the movement, requires surrender of explicit biases and the gravitas to accept suffering without retaliation for the sake of the cause to achieve a goal. Because in turn, we're providing longevity to our promise of a beloved community. Leaders are avoiding internal violence of the spirit as well as external physical violence for the beloved community. Leaders are people who do not recognize an enemy as someone to take down, but rather someone who has not opened their eyes yet to the movement. Leaders are volunteers, they're interns, they're students, they're mothers, they're the people here on this Zoom call and the people being honored tonight. They're fathers and grandparents as well. and the humans of all races and backgrounds who honor the movement by contributing what they can. These look like the students and staff at Freeport High School on Freeport's Black History Day, where Jaquel Joseph and I led a blackout day, where we organized hundreds of students and staff in the school to wear all Black attire in solidarity with the liberation of Black people. Whenever I mention solidarity, I like to bring up my definition of it and what it means to me. Solidarity is a verb. It is communal support working towards a joint liberation, developing the social, economic, and political future that is already ours takes and will continue to take a Herculean communal effort that is going to have to come from all of us. That effort looks like financially supporting our youth and their work, educating not only yourself, but someone else on the significance of solidarity and honoring the movement. Joining the NAACP as a member and speaking to your children about joining it too, that also looks like honoring the movement. And finally, that effort looks like you and I playing our part in towards the movement's success. Do not be someone who says, I don't see color. Be someone who says, I see color, I recognize our differences, our paths of life, and I'm committed to helping you and the movement towards better. Thank you. Thank you to the office for allowing me to join today.
Thank you so much, Miles, for your wonderful words and your great leadership in our community, and also for making it known that we still have a lot to do, but we've come very far as well. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you being with us this evening.
Black History Month.
At this time, I would like to share another school district that and their way of celebrating Black History Month. We have with us the Amityville Public School, which entails the Amityville Jazz Ensemble. We would like to thank again the administration and the students for sharing with us this short clip from their celebration. Enjoy.
Is an annual celebration of achievements by the African Americans and a time for recognizing their central role in U.S. history. In the past, the Amityville Memorial High School Jazz Band has been honored to join the town of Babylon in this celebration. Even though we are not together tonight, we are still honored to be a part of this important event. Today, we would like to perform a piece by the great William James Count Basie, who was an American jazz pianist, organist, band leader, and composer. We hope you enjoy 1 O'Clock Jump.
Supported.
Great
Oh,
job.
what are you
And
talking
thank you again to the administrators and the students for
I
sharing
heard you're out with the Republicans.
that moment with us.
The fucking people offered me award.
Sorry, I think someone's mute up. There we go. All right. At this time, I would like to go through and just make an acknowledgement and also introduce our community nominees. These individuals were nominated by many, some maybe are with us this evening, but community members from District 8. We would like to thank you for taking the time for highlighting these individuals, and we'd like to get started. So we would like to first nominate Village of Freeport Officer Danetta Cumberbatch and Bobby Ford. The community member that submitted this nomination said, "These two are amazing police officers that are very involved in community affairs and supportive of events supporting children and seniors. They're always willing to support initiatives and listen to ideas about how we can change the community, engage with the community, residents, and the police department. They both play a crucial part in connecting with the community and law enforcement. Being present within the community has allowed them both to foster great relationships with all our community members. Bobby Ford and Danetta demonstrate great leadership and, most importantly, understand the importance of respecting one another. They are both an example of Black excellence, and the community thanks them for their unconditional support and service to the Freeport community. At this time, I would like to first turn it over to Officer Cumberbatch for some words of acknowledgement. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Melody, and thank you, Senator Brooks. And I'm honored to be here, and I appreciate the nomination. It's awesome to hear that work is recognized. So I introduce myself, Officer Danetta Cumberbatch. I'm a member of the Freeport Police Department, now in Community Affairs. Next month, I'll be starting 18 years here. And again, I'm honored to be here and take part in such a great event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Officer Cumberbatch, and thank you for your service to our community and our state. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Officer Bobby Ford for some words of acknowledgement.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Senator Brooks. Thank you, committee. We appreciate your nomination. It is truly an honor for people to acknowledge the hard work that goes into just being out there and being present and making a difference in at least one life every day. You know, I'm Officer Ford. I've been in law enforcement for over 28 years, 17 of which have been in Freeport. And I loved every minute of it. Still here, looking forward to a few more years of being able to influence the lives of the youths of Freeport in a positive way. I'm also the executive director for the Freeport PAL. So I'm constantly dealing with youth and dealing with parents and dealing with the public. As a matter of fact, Jock Butler, he's the assistant vice president to Freeport PAL. So we have a good working relationship as well. And I really appreciate just the time that you guys have taken out just to say thank you to us. You know, it's humbling.
Thank you so much, Officer Ford, and thank you again also for your service and great dedication to our community.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to welcome and introduce our next nominee, which is Carol Gilliam. She is the Black Heritage Librarian at the Roosevelt Library. She has served the Roosevelt community for over 20 years as the Black Heritage Librarian at the Roosevelt Public Library. She has won numerous awards, including the prestigious Zora Neale Hurston Award for promoting African American literature. She's also created various innovative programs, including art exhibits, concerts, read-ins, and poetry programs, as well as bus trips and more. This time, I would like to turn it over to Ms. Gilliam to say some words of acknowledgement. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to receive this award from Senator Brooks. You have done so much for us at the Roosevelt Public Library, and I hope you continue to think about us when you get grant money. But I just want to say a few things about me as a librarian. Throughout our history, African-American librarians like me have been pioneers, visionaries, risk takers, hard workers, innovators, organizers, and achievers. Through dedication and persistence, we have developed library collections and archives in spite of limited resources. We have also provided reference and information services in cultural centers, museums, schools, and universities for many African Americans and people of color in all types of communities. I am very proud to be a librarian and serve in a career that promotes literacy, especially when my ancestors were not encouraged to learn to read and write. It's important for me to continue to do the work at the Roosevelt Public Library. I'd like to thank all of my coworkers at the Roosevelt Public Library for encouraging me. And once again, Senator Brooks, I am honored to receive this award.
Thank you so much, Ms. Carl, for all of your service and dedication to our community. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I would like to welcome and introduce Lisa Owens. So the person that nominated her submitted this about her, and they basically said, after a long career in the for-profit sector, Lisa was looking to shift into a career that would allow her to become more fulfilled. In March of 2013, Lisa secured employment after a successful internship with us at the Long Island Cares. She was to oversee the efforts at the South Shore Service Center, which opened in the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy. 9 years later, Lisa continues to be a staple of our South Shore Service Center, now overseeing disaster relief and recovery, as well as the new paths to achievement, personal and career development. In Lisa's role as one of the managers of Programs and Services Department at Long Island Cares, she not only administers the program, but oversees, but also serves as a confidant, mentor, and a dedicated team member to all departments and operations. She goes above and beyond to ensure that the 64 people who work for Long Island Cares have the utmost information on all efforts and the food bank. Lisa is an amazing woman, leader, and innovator. She works tirelessly for the Long Islanders in need and often puts the needs of the people before the needs of herself. Lisa is Long Island Cares. Thank you so much, Lisa, for your service, and we would like to turn it over to you for some welcoming remarks. Sorry, we can't hear you.
Of course, I forgot to unmute. Thank you so much. Oh my God, that's such an honor to hear that from my team. Thank you, Senator Brooks. I know our organization has partnered with you and your community to support your families there. And it's just really an honor. I thank God for this journey that I'm on. And that's what I encourage the people who I come across every day. I'm thankful for my family and the women who inspire me, and just everyone who pushes me forward to do better for myself and definitely for my community. The Long Island Care staff, we all share this mission, and every day is just this amazing path that we get to inspire and help people just move forward in their lives. And I'm really thankful for the honor. Thank you again to Senator Brooks, and thank you everyone, and congrats to everyone who is being honored today.
Thank you so much, Lisa. At this time, I would like to introduce our next nominee, which is Albert Belcher. He is a security director at the Dominican Village Long Island Assisted Living Community. Just a little bit about Albert. He is a native to New York City and has given full commitment to the city and state he calls home. He has been in positions of service for his entire adult life and was an active member of his community, where he engaged in outreach, including his school, church, and St. Albans Veterans Hospital. After leaving CUNY Baruch College, Albert became a member of the NYPD. There he was assigned to many units, including assistant to the first deputy police commissioner and assistants to the police commissioner. Additionally, while in the department, Albert was very active in the Guardians Association, becoming one of the youngest chair member of the board of the Guardians Association. He was instrumental in diversifying highway patrol units across the boroughs to be more inclusive of persons of color. He currently serves as an executive board member of the Central Long Island branch of the NAACP for over 10 years. Albert is the vice president of the HOA for his residential community. Additionally, he has been director of the security at Dominican Village for over 16 years during the COVID-19 pandemic, and he has played a major role in keeping all residents, employees, and visitors at Dominican Village safe. He is a beacon of strength and to all who have had the pleasure of knowing him personally and professionally. Congratulations, Albert, and I would like to turn it to you for some words of acknowledgement.
Thank you very much, Melody. Good evening, Senator Brooks, fellow nominees, distinguished guests, family, and friends. I'm very honored to have been nominated by Emily for this and selected by the Senator Brooks for this award. I live my life just being of service to others. Since this COVID-19 pandemic, it's made me even more committed to helping others to become and be safe. I humbly thank you and greatly appreciate this recognition, and I strive to continue in this vein. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Albert, for your service and dedication to our community. Lastly, we would like to welcome Mayor Kennedy from Freeport to introduce our last nominee, as it was submitted by him. So I'll turn it over to you, Mayor, to say some words. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. And I want to congratulate all our nominees for Black History Month of 2022. Senator Brooks, thank you so much for putting this together. I really want to congratulate a special Freeport resident who's dedicated countless hours to the Freeport Police Athletic League, to our Little League in the Village, Freeport Housing Authority, and one of our directors of the Freeport Housing Authority, and a supervisor in Verizon who helped us on numerous occasions to restore computer service, internet service to many of our residents who had no service during COVID, but needed to speak with their doctors or their pharmacists, and their service was out and Verizon was not permitted to go in to send service technicians into the house. But Jacques Butler, when I made a phone call, made sure all of those seniors had their internet restored. I don't know how he did it, but he did take care of it. I just want to say thank you to Jacques. Thank you to his entire family for lending him out to the village all the time he spends with us. He's definitely an asset to this village and well deserving of this nomination.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. I'll turn it over to Jacques for some words of acknowledgement. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Melody, thanks again for setting us up. Senator Brooks, thank you for the award. And I tell you, the Honorable Robert T. Kennedy, I'm never at a loss of words, but you kind of got me stumped for a moment. But I will forge on. I appreciate working with the village, working with the officers that were also mentioned and honored as well. It has turned into my passion, dealing with the youth of Freeport, from 3-year-old to 8-year-olds, playing a game of soccer. They come in as introverts, they leave out with friends, and they're able to hold conversations and just be better little kids. I look forward to coming to practice and kicking the ball the next day. So that is always great to see. Great support, and just look forward to keep on going, pushing forward, and I appreciate all the love and all the support.
Thank you so much, Jacques. Again, we would like to congratulate all of our nominees. Thank you again for all of your contributions and the great service that you do every single day for our communities. As we had sent to you over, I would like to open the discussion just to hear from you all. So I'll prompt the first question. Whoever would like to participate, feel free to do so. So we wanted to know if there is an African-American figure that has inspired you, and if so, who and why. Please take a minute to respond. You can feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead, whoever would like to participate. Thank you.
I'll start. I'm sorry. Who was that?
Go right ahead, officer. You can go first.
All right, I'll be quick. This platform is inspiring for one, but I do want to say that there are several African-American icons or figures that are inspiring, but one that I will speak on today is a woman by the name of Ruby Bridges, who essentially proved that you don't have to be an adult to change history. Her activism started at just 6 years old. In 1960, she was the first Black child to racially integrate and help desegregate an all-white elementary school in the South. On her first day of school at a Louisiana school, she had to be escorted through an angry crowd of white parents and students by 4 federal marshals. Ruby's experience speaks to the bravery and fear she had to overcome through the eyes of as a very young child in November of 1960. This was an historic moment. This historic moment helped to shape the life of a little girl who later became a civil rights pioneer. She is now the chairperson of the Ruby Bridges Foundation, which she formed in 1999 to promote the values of tolerance, respect, and appreciation of all differences. Ruby Bridges has received many honors and awards for her continued public service and fight for civil rights. It's not always the major accomplishments by iconic figures that have changed history, but it's the small steps, such as children as Ruby Bridges was at that time, that changed an entire system of educating our children in a setting suited for everyone. So that was my inspiration today to speak on.
Thank you so much for sharing, Officer Cumberbatch. And like you said, it's not necessarily the major or the big contributions, but the small ones that make an effect and trickle on to many others. So thank you for sharing that. I think we had next, Carol, did you want to share something?
Yes. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I get confused by when I see this little, sometimes I don't know whether I can be heard or not. But anyway, I'd just like to say, first of all, my inspiration for being a librarian, first of all, comes from my mother, who was not a librarian. She was a nurse, but my mother was the type of woman who read to me from the time I was very, very young. And I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, and my first experience with the library was the bookmobile. The bookmobile used to come around to neighborhoods, and it was so much fun going to this library on a bus and coming home with an armful of books. And fast forward, I eventually became a teacher and then a librarian. And I'm very, very proud, as I said in my opening statement, to be a librarian, to be someone that promotes literacy, reading and literacy to not only children, but to everybody. I used to work in the Freeport schools. I worked as a school librarian for 28 years in the Freeport schools. And I've always worked at the Roosevelt Public Library, even during the time that I was working in the Freeport schools. I've always worked in the Roosevelt Public Library part-time. And I was very fortunate to be able to build that collection there at the library. It's the third largest Black heritage collection in the state of New York.
Wow.
So I'm very, very proud to continue that work there. But another person that I just want to mention as a librarian, her name is Carla Hayden. She is the Librarian of Congress. She's the first African-American Librarian of Congress. She used to be a librarian at a library in Baltimore, Maryland, and she moved up the ranks. And she is now our Librarian of Congress. So she inspires me also in my work. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you so much, Carol.
You're welcome.
Just want to throw it over to anyone else if you would like to participate. If not, we will go on to our next question.
Sure. I would like to acknowledge also someone who inspires me, actually two people as well. And just when I think about compassion and kindness, definitely my mom, who is the epitome of even who I am, just being loving and kind. That is her spirit, that's also in me. I'm just going back to the height of COVID, and I had come across Iyanla Vanzant, who I'd always followed her career, her books, her work, just being this inspirational person in mind, body, and spirit. But she had started these antiviral messages that really started from like day one, and she was doing them every day. So checking in and watching, people tuning in every day, it turned from 15 minutes to an hour weekly. And then just being encouraged by that, like no bells and whistles, no guests, it was just really her encouraging us, giving meditative advice, self-care advice, just ways to kind of keep us moving forward through that entire year and beyond. So she did it even beyond weekly into 2021. So I still go back to those messages, just being encouraged to also motivate our communities and encourage them in self-care and using everything we learned during that time to just kind of move forward in caring, putting themselves forward first. And that's definitely an inspiration to me till this day.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Anyone else want to share?
Sure.
Go ahead.
There's more than one person. I mean, besides my immediate family, there were two individuals during my younger years growing up, one by the name of Mr. Bill and the other one, Mr. Kelly. They were positive role models in the community that I grew up in, which was an underserved community in South Jamaica. And they took the youth under their wings, providing jobs, mentorship, and they modeled integrity and motivation. These gentlemen were not known beyond, that community, their community, but they impacted the lives of the community by giving of their time, helping others to have a brighter future. And they were also very much responsible for me studying business in college and becoming a small business owner and making law enforcement my career. So they were very impactful, and I'd like to honor them as well as my immediate family and my wife of 34 years going on 35. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Albert. Just wanted to throw it out there one more time, and then if not, we'll move forward to the next question. Thank you, everyone. Okay. So the next question we had for everyone was, what motivates you to do the work that you do each day? Again, whoever would like to participate, feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead.
I'll start.
Oh, it's
Okay,
okay.
no, go ahead. You're sure? Okay.
Ladies first.
Thank you. I'll be really, really quick. Just really supporting our communities, and having done this work now, I'll be at Long Island Cares for 9 years in March. And I think the one thing that motivates me is just knowing that you have to share your story because someone needs your story. They need your voice. And I think when I think about that, because there are some hard days and there are days when I'm just quiet and I just want to kind of reflect, but knowing that somebody needs my voice and my story can motivate them, especially when I'm doing career work and helping people secure employment and kind of move forward in a job search. That's definitely something that helps me. If it's that one thing, I have my own personal mantra, which is if I say or do one thing that helps just one person, I'm doing what I'm called and what I'm purposed to do. And so that definitely gets me out of bed every day and motivates me in the work I do.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, you never know what conversation may really impact someone and be what they need in that moment. So thank you for sharing that, Lisa. I'm not sure who spoke, but whoever would like to go next, go ahead.
That's Officer Ford. Yeah, just to lend to that ideology, as a martial artist, as a practitioner for over 25 years, we had a mantra, and we still use, of each one teach one. And this is what we try to instill within the youth through sports, through discipline, to make sure that they're going to be our future resource. They're going to inherit the earth. So it's important to invest that time in their development. And this is one of the reasons that I'm still a police officer. I like to motivate children. I like to make a difference in just one life and help these other kids just see a better way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Officer Ford, for sharing. Anyone else would like to contribute to that question?
Yeah, Melody, Jacques will jump in.
Oh, go ahead.
So just from my profession of every day trying to wow the customer, make sure they have a great customer experience, that translates into a spinoff of what Officer Ford said, that we try to do the best for our youth and try to make sure that they're indulging in what we have to offer. I love seeing the little faces when they are doing something that they're learning, they're excited about. It's also good to see their faces when they can't do it, and we have the ability to have the conversation with them to change their mind and show them a different way of doing it, not to give up, to keep trying. So as time goes on throughout the program, you start to see the kids and you start to grow your bond with them because they say, hey, you taught me something I couldn't do. So that's always something that I'll keep near and dear to me. And it keeps fuel to my fire, it keeps me going.
Following the words of Mr. Butler, I appreciate that so much. I really, and Officer Ford, each one teach one. These amazing comments being shared all throughout the evening. I see myself in so many of the other students that I walk with in the halls every single day. You know, at one point I was really shy and could not even speak up on something that bothered me, and now I'm leading one of the second largest Juneteenth protests that Long Island has ever seen. And so that translation has come from leaders like Officer Ford, Officer Cumberbatch, etc., seeing these adults in my life and seeing how they not only champion initiative, but they also instill it on the future generations. And so when I see other youth and I see my same self, I always, tell them or recognize or say in the back of my head, if you guys are young enough to feel the same problems that the adults are feeling, or that the older generations are feeling, you're young enough to speak on them. You're young enough to act on them. You're young enough to get involved and sit on those same committees. And too often do we see events and ceremonies and conversations go without being transgenerational and having that open conversation between the generations. And so I always like to implore all of the people who are younger than me, my age, and a little older than me to get involved and to do exactly that. And that's coming from the older generation. That guidance, that counsel is coming from the older generation. So that's definitely something that I continue to see myself doing in the future. But right now, definitely it's keeping me motivated, knowing that I can get more young folks who look and sound like me speaking like the people who are on this panel.
Thank you, Miles. Anyone else would like to pitch in?
Sure. What motivates me to do the work that I do each day? It's a strong desire to pay it forward and just the sincere gratification of helping others.
Thank you, Albert. And our last question we have for you all is, what advice would you give to the younger generation on the topic of youth and the younger folks? If anyone would like to.
Yes, Officer Cumberbatch. So I first want to thank Miles for being who you are, and congratulations on your nomination to NAACP Youth. That's awesome. You appear to be the perfect young person to head this organization. Very proud of you. So some advice, I guess, that I could provide to the younger generation is to remove limitations on themselves. Surround yourself with people who know more than you. We need lots more Miles Hollingsworths around. Never be afraid to ask questions. No question is ever a silly question, and knowledge and education is power. That's it.
Absolutely, we do need many, many more Miles in this world. Anyone else would like to say any words?
Yes, I would. Miles, you are such a bright light. I'm so proud of you, especially since you went to Freeport High School and you're doing such great work. And my advice to you would be to concentrate on being significant in life, which you already are, more than the success. Because once you have made your mark as a significant person, the success will follow.
Thank you, Carol. Anyone else?
Sure, I have definitely congratulations, Maya. You're amazing, and I'm inspired definitely by your energy. I could feel it. For Miles and even just our younger generation, take the time to study yourself. Learn more about who you are. Whatever your plan is for the future, study who you are, the things that are important to you. Engage in your self-care, engage in just knowing the things that are for you. And I think when you do that, it makes it easier when you have opportunities and relationships that come your way. You'll know what's good for you and you'll discern what's not. And it'll make it easier to walk away from something that's not for you. But in every part of your journey, take that time to just study who you are and embrace it. Affirm it, and I know that'll be, part of your journey. It should be part of your journey. You're all amazing kids.
Thank you, Lisa. Last call, and then we'll turn it over to Senator Brooks for some closing remarks. Thank you again, everyone.
I have one thing.
Go ahead.
Advice that I would give to the younger generation: set goals and do what you love to do, so it doesn't feel like work. Always try to do more than what you're actually being paid for, and reaping the rewards of commitment and the benefits of others. You know, money is great, but it's not everything.
Absolutely. Thank you, Albert. And again, it's been a pleasure to be part of this conversation and be able to lead and moderate this evening. Again, we congratulate each and every one of you. And again, we thank you for your contributions and the service that you do for our communities every single day. Thank you again. I'll turn it over to Senator Brooks for some closing remarks.
Thank you, Mel. I enjoyed all of the comments tonight. Miles, you're good stuff, and you got a great future ahead of you. You know, when I asked the question about who inspired you most, I couldn't pick a person. I had a long list of people. And I think all of the folks that were recognized tonight have served their community in different ways. And what you heard from each one of them was that they helped people. And that's so important for us in life, to spend some time to help or assist somebody else. I think for the police officers in particular, where they are put in so many different situations, from hostile situations to dangerous situations to medical emergencies, and they perform with such excellence. We got a librarian who can point people in the right direction on research they might want to do, or a book that they want to take a look at. You know, life gives us all opportunities. And one of those opportunities is to work with others, get them to get to know others, and understand in the end, it doesn't matter the color or the national background or the religion. We're all people. We're all here in this place called the earth, trying to make our way. And the more that we can do things together, the better we are. When they have a peace march each year at Freeport High School. And the one year when I was there, I asked everybody to join hands in the whole audience. And I said, that right there is the solution, to go through life hand in hand with one another. And I think this week, this month, we spend time honoring our Black brothers and sisters who were ignored at times, and who in some areas of our country right now, their contributions, they seem to be evaporating from the textbook they were never in to begin with. So I think we had a number of people we recognized tonight, all contributed something to make the world a better place. And if we could all take 10 minutes each day to help somebody, we'll make this a much better place. We're glad everybody was able to give us the time tonight. You know, the recordings we had on the students from Freeport and Amityville high schools, we appreciate that. And most importantly, we appreciate all of you, what you do, what you can do, and what you're going to do in the future. So thank you all very much. Take some time to think about the contributions that our Black brothers and sisters have made in your lives and to your country and to this world. And thank you all for participating tonight.
Thank you again, everyone, and I hope you have all a great evening. Please stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good
Thank you,
night.
everyone. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congrats, everyone.
Thank
Be
you
safe
all.
and be well.
Yes, be safe and well.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Have a good night, everybody.